Welcome to Menorca, where my continued reign of bad luck with bad weather in Spain 2024 is continuing. So on this cloudy day where there's not much to do, I thought, why don't I review my rental car roulette car, which just happens to be the facelifted Peugeot, depending where you're watching this, 2024 Rifter. And let's see if this is the car you should rent on your holidays. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. Just want to show you the front of the vehicle now that is slightly different with these newer headlight units with the fresh daytime running light strip. They're probably doing weird sequences on camera today. It's not like that in real life, trust me. I've actually had to start the vehicle to get these to come on to display how they look. Just one turn or two turns of the indicator doesn't seem to want to work. So there are just some subtle changes now on the front of the Rifter. 4.753 millimeters long, and one of the best things I like about this from a car rental point of view is it has hubcaps. So you can't scuff an alloy wheel where the sneaky car rental company will try and screw you over and say you damaged the vehicle when it's just a replaceable hubcap. Also, one of the reasons why these cars are better than so many other SUVs, whether it's in normal life at home or on holidays, this is one of the best things about these vehicles. Your kids will not whack the doors off the wall or other cars anymore because they slide and they give you easy access. That also brings me on to a point that I want to tell you about these. So don't pay extra at the rental company for booster seats. Buy these before you go. They inflate and deflate, little tube here, blow it up like a balloon, and you don't give them whatever it is, 80 quid per booster seat, but get them because they really are brilliant. Another reason a vehicle like a Rifter is brilliant for small families and car rental roulette is because they give you tray tables in the back of the seats. So if you're parked up or your kids are bored, they can play Roblox and not wreck your head. Not quite 3 individual seats like a Peugeot 3008, well, the last version of it anyway, but you do have one individual here and then these 2 seats closest to the camera will also roll and drop and flip forward. And that's quite easy to do, just a little handle on the back of the seat here, and you'll see the whole way the bench just maneuvers down like this. And all of a sudden, it's not quite obviously a flat load in existence, but you know, you can massively increase your boot space within seconds. So that's another reason why these are handy. In case you're wondering, why is there an inflatable shark in the boot of the Rifter? I'll explain now. Incidentally, I obviously haven't sponsored this video, but OK Mobility, of who I've rented this car from, used them a couple of times. Portugal, Spain, pretty handy to use. They do take a €1,350 credit card deposit off you, but you get it back obviously. And there's no tolls in Menorca, so you don't get stung for them either. Right, so boot size is just over 700 litres, up to 1050 litres if you drop these. And here's my inflatable shark, just to give you context of how big this is, and that will obviously fit into the boot of your Rifter, but you'll also get 5 suitcases if you don't need an inflatable shark. So they will also easily go in here. This parcel shelf kind of splits in 2, so that's handy. There's a light and plenty of flat loading floor goodness to get your suitcases in and out. Night night jaws. Good little boy, good little boy. There's even a little handle here for helping you close down the boot because it is quite heavy. And hey, I mean, I might as well talk about the wiper because I keep making it rain in Spain. You get one of them as well. 1.5 Blue HDI diesel engine, 110 brake horsepower, 10 seconds to over 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers an hour. Not sure you want to go that fast in this thing, to be honest with you. Has a 6-speed manual gearbox. And around you, I mean, it feels car-like in many ways. In fact, the Peugeot iCockpit, which many people struggle with, is actually really clear because it sits above the steering wheel in the Rifter, so there's less complaining needed there. You get a heated steering wheel option on this car, which feels very, very entry-level because I don't even have climate control. It's manual aircon. It's okay. It's 30 plus degrees here. You would kind of prefer climate control if you can, but you have to remember this car is based on a van, so some of those little luxuries are gone, much like the little corner in the window, the harder plastics, the cup holders that are all set up for a van. There's certain bits they just haven't been able to change. Also, it annoys me that The windows aren't one touch. You've got to manually press them down every single time. There's a huge amount of storage in the center console. You can cover it up as well from prying eyes with these little sliders. Very, very good. If you've got coins, you've got a coin holder here for tolls if you don't have a tag. 2 individual armrests, kind of like captain chairs, which are good. The front seat, you can't fold it flat from what I can tell. I've tried to do it there, but the headrest and the armrest and things get in the way. So there's possibly a bit of a trick being missed there, because you'll be able to load things, really long things, right the way through. Floating shelf and a glove box, which is actually really, really huge. And in this case has a high-vis vest, because they're some of the things you need on the continent. Normal USB-A port in the back, and you get 2 USB-C in the front, including wireless Apple CarPlay, so that makes your life easy. Quite a small screen. You don't get a reversing sensor on it, just parking sensors, but still, you know, what else do you need? And it has some of the speed warnings that you can fairly easily turn off. One touch of the car button, excessive speed warning, hit that and it's done. So it's a kind of a 2-click option. Have cruise control, but it's not radar guided on this. You know, the door bins are huge. Everything is quite harsh plastic, but again, it's going to be durable. And everywhere you look, there's little pockets of places to stick things, and it will make your life fairly easy. If you need storage, you've got a little bit of a shelf up here as well. So, you know, there's a lot of storage options. Again, perfect for holidays. Don't be expecting a silky smooth engine sound off this HDI engine, but do expect good fuel economy. You're looking at over 700 kilometers out of a tank. This car just has 2,400 kilometers on it, and it will, if you're using it on a continuous journey through different countries and you do a lot of traveling, you'll, even if you turn off the speed monitor, which is, as I've demonstrated, pretty easy to do, you'll get a road sign display right in your line of sight, so you're never unsure as to what the speed limit is wherever you're driving. Over the last 35 kilometers, I have done 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers, which you'll better on longer journeys, there's no doubt. There is obviously the petrol option if you don't do longer journeys, and a diesel isn't the best option for you. Although it's a 6-speed manual, there's times, apart from when you're really cruising, where I think it would be fine if it was just a 5-speed manual, because it's quite often telling me to change back to 5th when I'm driving along in 6th, and sweeping roads with bends, you'll feel a bit of body roll, and that's generally if you're cruising at whatever the speed limit is on those types of roads, is what you're doing in 6th, but it just feels like the car is constantly underpowered and you're labouring the engine a little bit too much. So there is quite a bit of gear changing in this. As I mentioned, quite a bit of body roll. It's very soft, and on the one hand that's quite nice, because over the endless ramps around Menorca, and just the roads here no doubt are better than what we have at home, but if you're watching this in Ireland or the UK, all the potholes, all the imperfection in the road surfaces will actually be gently smoothed out by the ride quality of this car. It's never hard, but the trade-off is it's quite soft and rolly into the bends. It's quite a loud indicator noise as well, which I'm trying to remember, is it as loud in the new E3008? I will be driving that again soon on Irish roads, but this genuinely is a vehicle that you could compare with that, because it has the same functional use for a family. It just doesn't look as flash. It's not the new E3008. There's no hype about this, but I think that will be some of the appeal to people. It's just boring and a little bit dull and functional, but all in a good way, kind of an under the radar way, and you'll have saved money because you're not buying what's actually a car. This is a van with support seats in it. All this space, smooth on the road, reasonably good fuel economy. It is the ultimate rental car as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and here's my summary on the updated version of the Peugeot Rifter. This is a good little workhorse. It takes the sand. It's got enough power, but not too much power to get you in trouble with La Guardia Civil. And it's boring to look at, so no one will think of breaking into it and nicking your iPads if you leave them in it by mistake, in theory. So that's why every time I come on holidays, I rent one of these. When you think about it, an SUV, I mean, they do look nicer, they have nicer interiors, the 3008 is a much nicer car. But if you don't need the extra row of seats, but you've got 3 kids, think about it. All the bikes, all the stuff that they want you to bring with them on a daily basis, and the dog, they'll all get swallowed up by that boot. So it's actually a much more practical car, and they're cheaper. Thank you very much for watching this video. The sun is kind of coming out now here in Menorca, and I'll talk to you in the next one.